Hey, what's up guys, Tito here with Aloha Android, and for today's video, basically we're going to be doing a comparison between the LG Tribute HD and the LG Tribute 5. And the question in hand is the Tribute HD an upgrade from the Tribute 5? So we are going to talk about the specs, we're going to talk about the software experience, we're going to talk about the build quality. So cue that roll, let's get started. So right in front of us we have the LG Tribute HD, which is off to my left, well, the left on your guys' screen as well, and the Tribute 5 on the right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a rundown of the specs just for the spec junkies out there. So the Tribute HD basically is running Android 6.0 Marshmallow, and the Tribute 5 is running 5.1 Lollipop. The Tribute HD weighs in at 4.30 ounces, and the Tribute 5 is at 4.88 ounces. So the Tribute HD is lighter than the Tribute 5, as I speculated. Both have 5-inch displays. The Tribute HD's resolutions is 720 by 1280. That's HD, not full HD, but HD nonetheless. With the Tribute 5, you have a 480 by 854, so it's not even HD display. Pixel density on the Tribute HD goes at 294 pixels per inch, while the Tribute 5 has 196 pixels per inch. The screen technology on the Tribute 5 is a TFT display, as the Tribute 5 has an IPS LCD display. For the cameras, the main camera on the Tribute HD is an 8 megapixel camera. With the Tribute 5, it's a 5 megapixel camera. Both have LED flash and autofocus. Both record in 1280 by 720, that's 720p HD. For the front-facing selfie cams, they both have 5 megapixel shooters in the front. Now the chipset on the Tribute HD is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 212, and the Tribute 5 is rocking the Snapdragon 210. For processing, you got a quad-core 1.3 megahertz ARM Cortex-A7 on the Tribute HD, and a 1.1 gigahertz ARM Cortex-A7 for the Tribute 5. Both have Adreno 304 GPUs with 1.5 gigs of RAM on the Tribute HD, 1 gig of RAM on the Tribute 5, 16 gigabytes of onboard storage with the Tribute HD, 8 gigs on the Tribute 5, but there is only 9.93 gigabytes of storage usable with the Tribute HD and 4.2 gigabytes usable on the Tribute 5. Both take micro SD cards, where it's been noted that the Tribute HD can use a 64 gig SD card, but they both say that they can take up to 32 gigs. A 2100 milliamp hour battery in the Tribute HD and a 2125 milliamp hour battery in the Tribute 5, and they are removable. And they both have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth support. I'm thinking, if I'm not mistaken, they both have USB 2.0, and I believe they have Bluetooth 4.0. Let me double check that here for you guys. Both have Bluetooth 4.1, so that's the specs for you guys. Now, when you hold both devices in your hand, the one that stands out the most between them two is actually the Tribute 5. It actually feels a bit more solid in the hand when holding it. Of course, with the chrome accents on the top and bottom of the device, the 2D ARC display, kind of gives it that nice little feel when you're touching the screen. You don't have that type of display on the Tribute HD, but the Tribute HD is more narrow and much nicer to use. So when holding both in hand, in comfortability, I give it to the Tribute HD. Okay, I'm gonna tap here to focus. But I give it to the Tribute HD as far as being comfortable to hold in the hand, maneuver around. It's pretty solid in that area. But as far as build quality, the Tribute 5 kind of takes it. Got a nicer feel to the display. The body itself just seems like that it has a bit more thought put into it. And yeah, just generally it just, to me, looks more better. But I said in my past video, the Tribute HD kind of feels more like a toy. That still hasn't escaped my thoughts when I hold this device and what comes to mind when I think about it. Now, you know, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but the Trivia HD does have this nice little pattern on the back. But it's covered very slick, and it makes it very slippery to hold. When you know, especially if you have like sweaty hands or anything like that, yeah, this will definitely slide out. As the Trivia HD has a nice textured back to it, feels more grippy. So build quality, I am going to give it to the Tribute 5 over the Tribute HD as far as build quality. Now, style and design of the device, I give it to the Tribute HD. I actually like this form factor over this one. I really wish the Tribute 5 had a more narrow body, you know, just for it being wider. It can be an annoyance to hold. If you were to hold these two in your hand for 24 hours straight without putting them down, you know, my opinion is that I'm gonna, you know, be more comfortable holding the Tribute HD than I would the Tribute 5. So the HD takes it in basically like form factor and style, because I do like the way that it's kind of like mapped out, of course. Just like a slight edge to the bottom chin of the device as well as the top. And if you guys look at it, there is a slight curve to the back, which does make it more comfortable to hold compared to, you know, I know the Tribute 5 has rounded sides. The width of the device is what hurts it. So, you know, that's my thoughts on it. As far as display, so we'll go with the display here. You guys can look at them side by side, and you know, even though the Tribute HD has a TFT display, it actually, you know, kind of looks nice. Let's pop open Google Plus here. Just kind of escape away from wallpapers and stuff, and you guys can see like the colors and things like that. The reds compared side by side. I mean, you know, when I look at the Tribute HD, it's a little bit more like toned, as far as like the reds, the whites, the blues. And if I was to, let's go here. Okay, so if I was to look like the greens and stuff like that, the greens are more deeper on the Tribute 5, a little bit more lighter on the Tribute HD, but the reds on the Tribute HD seems nicer, in my opinion, to look at than on the Tribute 5's display. And they're both sensitive to the touch. When you're touching the displays, as far as maneuvering through pages and whatnot, you guys can see there was a slight stutter there on the Tribute 5. You know, so, but you know, when it comes to the screen display, I got to give it to the Tribute HD. I really do. I like the Tribute 5's display as well. You know, but the Tribute HD is just much nicer as far as color tones and things like that. It just looks better, in my opinion. Cameras, let's bring out BB-8 for this one. BB-8 will be today's model for the cameras. And we're going to start with the Tribute HD here. Okay, so let's see if we can get this right. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see that or how well you guys can see that. Sorry for the light glaring in the background, but this is pretty much what the cameras would look like. Snap a photo here real quick, and we'll launch it. So you guys can take a look. And yeah, so it's not the greatest camera, okay? This is not something that you're going to want to use if you're a professional photographer. This is not going to make up for anything. But it will grab detail. So if you guys can look at BB-8 there, you guys can see, like, you know, the gray, the orange, all that stuff pretty much stands out. Shadow and light kind of is there, but this is not by far going to be one of the best photos that you'll be able to take with it. Now, if you're outdoor, it does really, really good outdoor. As a matter of fact, let me pull through the gallery here, and I'll show you a shot that it was taken outside. Okay, so this was the day of the parade. I was outside, and this was during daylight. As you guys can see, like, the photo is not bad at all whatsoever. Looks actually pretty good. And yes, I was vaping a shot, just for the heck of it. So, but there you go. I mean, this is outdoor lighting, and so the camera does better outdoor, but indoor it is where it's going to suffer. Let's go ahead and flip it to the front-facing camera here. We'll take a look. There I am. So, I mean, you know, it's going to get the job done as far as taking selfies to share with friends, but you're not going to get, like, enriched, high-quality, high-definition photos with this camera. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad camera at all. Now, if I was to say go with the Tribute 5, the Tribute 5's cameras is going to be letdown in a way. I'll tell you guys that much right now. So here we go. Let's take a look at our model here, BB-8. Kind of focus in for it. Snap that photo, and let's take a look. Let's go with Google Photos by default. So you guys can see, I mean, the rear cameras, even though, you know, the Tribute HD has an 8 megapixel shooter, they're almost similar in the way of them having noise in the background. So let me pull up the photo we took with the Tribute HD. Okay, so this is the Tribute 5. This is the Tribute HD. Now the angle of the shot's going to be different with both of these photos here. But you guys can see, like, the Tribute 5's just looks more warmer. And if you look at the Tribute HD, it's more cooler. As far as, like, you know, the white wall in the background and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, 8 megapixel rear cam with the Tribute HD, 5 megapixel with the Tribute 5, and yet the photo qualities is almost the same. So we'll go ahead and flip to the front-facing camera. There I am. You guys can see here's where it gets a little bit different. So let me try to stack these on top of each other so you guys can see the difference. I mean, you can see more visibly and clearly with the Tribute 5 than the Tribute HD. Now the Tribute HD seems to be like a little bit more toned, whereas the Tribute 5, it seems to be, you know, start to try and overcompensate for colors and realistic view. But, you know, this here, cameras, it's all subjective in my opinion. It all and will always be subjective. Some people like their photos a certain way, and so you really can't just say, okay, well, you know, this is the best camera. Some people like more cooler tones, some people like warmer tones, some people like oversaturation, some people like more toned down. It just really depends on what you guys like. Now, as far as audio quality is pretty good on both of these. I gotta say, the speakerphone on the Tribute HD is what bugs me. Some people don't have the same problems I do, so like I said, I may have a defective device, but on speakerphone calls, it does sound kind of like a walkie-talkie speaker, a little distorted, but nonetheless, it still gets the job done. Software experience, I gotta say, I really can't, and this is what sucks, I really can't determine with the Tribute HD because I may have a defective device. I'm not sure. I know for a fact there's a memory leak, so I am hoping that at some point, maybe other people have the same issue that I'm having, and that would kind of force the hand for LG to actually send out an update that would fix that issue and possibly have this device run at its full potential, as other users with the Tribute HD have been messaging me and telling me that, you know, it's a pretty slick, fast device and very great, and, you know, almost near perfect for the price that you're getting it for, which is base price is $79.99, on sale right now for $49.99, and it's a great deal. Now, you know, to forego all the things that I'm showing you here, the biggest question is the Tribute HD worth the upgrade from the Tribute 5? And the question is what's on a lot of people's minds, and the answer to that question is yes. And I'll tell you why. The Tribute 5 was pretty good for what it was. Sure, I never understood why LG actually skipped 3 and 4 and just went straight to the number 5, but then again, you know, of course, it's a gimmick thing. 5-inch screen, 5 megapixel front camera, 5 megapixel rear camera, 555 Tribute 5. Okay. Now, the Tribute HD, while the screen may not have grown bigger, you're getting double the storage. You're getting 500 megabytes of extra RAM compared to what the Tribute 5 has. You're getting a nice form factor as far as it being more narrow. Updated OS, because this is running 6.0.1 Marshmallow. The cameras are okay. The cameras are good if you're taking, you know, photos. I mean, not everyone's a professional photographer, and let's not kid ourselves, even though most people say the cameras is always the most important thing. Yeah, this is just, you know, definitely worth the upgrade. I mean, now if this device was, let's say, base priced at $129.99, then definitely no, wouldn't be worth the upgrade, as there's not too much in leaps and bounds if you were to come from the Tribute 5 up to the Tribute HD. There's not a lot of leaps and bounds to justify that kind of pricing. But for $79.99, which right now you can get it for $49.99 on a promo deal, it is worth upgrading to. And it's not a bad phone at all whatsoever. It's not a bad phone. I mean, this is, you know, I on and off switch back to the Tribute HD just because I want to use it. I mean, it may not have an octa-core processor as my current daily driver, the X-Power, does. The build quality may be a little off, you know, light, toyish, but I don't care about things like that. What I like about it is that it definitely works. It works for what I want it to do. It does social media very well, takes videos very well, takes photos very well. Only thing it doesn't really do very well is gaming. Gaming on this is a no-go, but the Tribute 5 is in the same boat. Gaming on this phone is a no-go. I mean, you can play light games on both of them, but playing graphical intense games and like really super huge games that, you know, require like gigs of data to be stored on the device for the game to actually run, you're not going to get the best game experience with either of these devices, so it's not really a huge deal. So, that is my comparison with the LG Tribute HD versus the LG Tribute 5. Just some of the things that I wanted to touch base with, let you guys know that the Tribute HD, in my opinion, is worth the upgrade from a Tribute 5 if you're a Tribute 5 owner. So if you guys found this video to be just a bit informative and helpful, you guys can let me know by smashing that like button. Links will appear on the display right now, so you guys can click any of those links to subscribe or check out my most recent video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, aloha. See you guys next time.